What's up, y'all? Today, I am going to be predicting the Houston Texans record for the upcoming NFL season. Now, I don't think their record reflects how good of a football team they really are. They've got the fourth toughest schedule in the league. So, if you agree with my take, leave it down in the comments. If you disagree, do the same. While you're down there, like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't. We're on the quest right now to 1,000 subscribers, and we want you to be a part of it. By the way, if your comment is good enough, it'll make next week's show. So make sure you get that take down in the comments. Again, I'm Devin. The other guy is Zane. This is Buffet Sports. It's all you can eat. Let's get into the video.
Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
So, to start the show off today, before we get too deep into it,
Got a milk
what
jug.
we're starting with is OJ jug. What
OJ
we're starting
Simpson.
with here, Jay Simpson did it. What we're starting with here, we're going to be predicting two different teams in the NFL, their records this year. So, to start out with, we are going to start with the Houston Texans. Regular season. There we go. Regular season week 1. I was going to say, I looked at this earlier today. That's not right. That's preseason. So, starting week 1, the Texans are going to Indianapolis to play the Colts. All right. And
the big game.
this is a win. This is a win for the Texans. It's Anthony Richardson's basically rookie season over again. They're going to have some growing pains getting used to him. First game, we're going to get to really see Anthony Richardson. I think I got to see him once last year, and it was for like a quarter. So this will be the first time I'm really getting to see him play. I believe in CJ. Week 1 win. Next, they're going home and Chicago. What?
You need to take a breather here. You're huffing and puffing into the mic.
Week 2. The Texans are heading home and Chicago is meeting them there. So we get Caleb Williams versus CJ Stroud. In week 2, two of the hottest, biggest
two of the hottest, biggest, girthiest, veiniest men we know.
Two of the biggest stars two of the biggest quarterback stars in the league. We get to test their mettle against each other. It's week 2, all right? Caleb Williams is not going to be Patrick Mahomes in week 2, unless I'm completely wrong. I don't think he's going to adapt that quickly. So this is a win for the Texans. We do get to see some late game heroics from Caleb Williams, though. He locks in at the end of the game. So a little bit, it ends up being kind of an interesting game. Next, the Texans are heading to Minneapolis. Or not Minneapolis, to Minnesota to play the Vikings.
In Minneapolis.
It's in their stadium's in Minneapolis?
No idea.
Sure, we'll go with it. They beat the ever living shit out of the Vikings in week 3. It doesn't matter what quarterback is there in Minnesota, they're getting mollywopped a majority of the year probably, and especially in this game. So week 3 win for the Texans. They are starting out 3-0. They're hot coming out of the gates. Okay.
Hot and horny.
But now they head back to NRG Stadium. They head home to play the Jags. This sneaky spot, first loss of the year.
So predictable from him.
No, but listen, Trevor Lawrence is going to be locked in the beginning of the year because he just got his new contract. He's coming out hot. Everyone is probably going to be healthy. The Jags look pretty good in the beginning of the year usually.
A lot of hot guys in the beginning of the year.
A lot of hot guys in the beginning of the year. So this is their first loss, sneaky spot here. Jags get the win, and Trevor Lawrence goes for a big game. We might see a rare CJ interception during this game. He starts out a little too hot to begin the year. Week 5, they stay home and they play the Bills. Potential bounce back spot, but it's not. The Bills grab a win here, actually. It's a revenge game for Stephon Diggs, okay? And CJ tries to feed him a little bit too much. Stephon gets a little bit frustrated because he can't complete balls, and he
little ants in the pants.
and he's doing a little bit too much. He's just doing a little bit
Uh,
too much. His diva side comes out. So it ends
yeah.
up kind of just screwing up the vibe. So it's a loss. They're now 3-2 going into week 6. Big bounce back spot. They're heading to Gillette Stadium to play the Patriots. And it's another mollywhopping. Huge bounce back spot.
Mm.
They're going to destroy the Patriots. It should be at the very least, like I would expect this to be like a 9.5-point spread. I will take whatever the spread in this game is. I'll take it. The Texans are going to mollywhop them. Okay. So huge bounce back spot. They are 4-2 heading into week 7. They play the Packers. So they go to Lambeau now.
Mhm.
Okay. Off of a bounce back game.
Yeah.
What's the vibe going into it? They're
Everybody's
hot.
got to lose, you know.
Everyone's got to lose.
Yeah.
But they head to Lambeau and they pull out a win here. It's
Yeah.
still early enough in the year. It's Sunday. It's a 12 o'clock game, middle of the day. And it's not quite too cold in Lambeau quite yet. To where the Texans are that affected. This is a big game for the defense. I'm going to call it right now. 1-2 touchdowns. Jordan Love tries to play a little bit too much of hero ball in the fourth quarter, throws a pick or two, maybe has a fumble, something along those lines. No Aaron Jones, but they do have Josh Jacobs. His health is up and down here and there,
Mhm.
but I think I think Jordan Love tries to play a little bit too much hero ball in this game. So they get the win here, continue the win streak out of Foxborough, heading into week 8 now, 5-2. Go back home to play the Colts. Sweep. They beat the Colts again.
Sweep the Colts.
Sweep the Colts. It's week 8 at this point. Anthony Richardson's hurt and Joe Flacco's playing football there. It's his first week. This is actually his first week playing. So he's learning the system. He's learning his guys. And so it's not a close, it's not a close game, but we get to see Joe play football. So it's a good game. It's a great game. 6-2 heading into week 9. Now they travel to New Jersey, MetLife Stadium to play the Jets. They're on a little bit of a win streak here. They've got a 3-game win streak. I think, though, this is a sneaky spot. I think at home, it's in New Jersey. I think the Jets get a win here. I think this is Sunday Night Football. I want to say this is Sunday Night Football. And I think this is Halloween. I think this is Halloween Sunday Night Football. Let me look.
Aaron Rodgers is still healthy.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna
Okay.
say he is healthy at this point. And you've got Breece Hall. The team and the defense is so good. This is gonna be a
Yeah.
really great defensive game. But
Hey,
I'm
they're
gonna
ranked number 4th.
I'm gonna go out and say that Aaron Rodgers is healthy here. But let's see. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Thursday Night Football. Halloween, Thursday Night Football. I think this is a spooky win for the Jets. I think it's a close game, though, for sure. It's a close game. Defensive battle. I'm thinking like 24-17, something like that. Just kind of a gross dogfight.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get cold now.
Yeah.
But they head back home to Houston and they play the Lions. So potential bounce back spot, but not quite. They're going to drop this game to the Lions. Lions are hot. It's week 10, middle to the end of the year. They're starting to turn it on.
Everybody's
So,
getting cold. The Lions are still hot.
Lions win this game. They're also hyped because even though they're in an indoor stadium, it's still a little chilly, but they're in Houston. Houston. It's November. They're excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's chilly in Houston in November.
No, it's chilly in Detroit in November.
You said they're in Houston.
I know. So they're heading to Houston. So they're happy because it's a little chilly in Detroit, even though they're playing indoors in Detroit.
Go. That was my bad.
No, you're all good. After that, it's an in-state rivalry game.
Ooh.
They head to Dallas
In
Jerry World
Jerry World.
to play Dak and CD.
And
What do you
Micah
think
Parsons.
this is? What do you think this is?
Honestly, they whooped the flipping Texans.
Well, it's a good thing you're not in charge of the Texans because the Texans get a win here.
Hell yeah.
It's the
Love
end.
that.
We're starting to get to the end of the year here, and the Cowboys are starting to have their fall apart part of the season. They always look great through the first 11 to 12 weeks, and then they start to drop games. This is the first game that they're starting to kind of look like, their wheels are starting to fall off. They've had control of the division the whole time, not anymore.
They're looking like the Cowboys.
They're looking like the Cowboys. They're dropping this game to the Texans. So huge win here for the Texans. They're full of a ton of confidence. They head back home to play Tennessee in week 12. This is a 34-point win.
All right.
Not 34, but it's a mollywhopping. It's a huge game. They just won against Dallas. They got a ton of confidence. Stefan's starting to get back into his groove here. It's a big win. They beat up on the Texans. I would say, or the Titans. I say this is probably I'd say it's probably a 9.5-point spread. They'll probably give it. I would take it most
All right.
likely, touchdown and a half. Week 13. Now they head down to Jacksonville. Okay. It's warm. Obviously, it's warm in Houston, but they're playing outdoors. It's December. It's middle of the day, 12 o'clock. They're playing the Jags. It's a little bit of a revenge game. Obviously, they lost to them earlier in the year. They get the win here.
They get the win.
In Jacksonville. They get the win.
Like
Trevor
it.
Lawrence at this point is beat up. The contract doesn't matter. He's fully unlocked. Christian Kirk has running on one bum wheel. Travis Etienne probably punched somebody and is in jail. Who knows?
He's not as hot as he used to be.
Right, not as hot as he used to be. They get the win here in week 13. Now, coming off of a 3-game win streak, they get a bye. So huge bye, week 14. Pretty late in the year, though, not like great, but definitely important to keep it together down the stretch. So going into week 15, 3-game win streak off the bye. They're playing Miami at home. This is a tough game for me because part of me is like, okay, Miami it's December. They've been playing a bunch of cold games in their division. They're off their game. They're coming into warm weather. Are they going to be excited to play in warm weather and they're going to ball out, or are they going to be so far off their game that they're just going to get beat up? I lean on the side that they're probably going to win this game. They're going to be spry. They're going to be excited to be playing in warm weather indoors. So I'm going to say the Dolphins get the win here. Texans take the loss. Heading into week 16, though, they're playing the Chiefs in Kansas City. Big game here. Big game. Week 16.
Big game. Playing the Chiefs in the latter half of the year is tough.
Tough. They're going to lose here, but it's close. It gives everyone a little bit of a preview like, oh, could we see a playoff matchup with them? This could be interesting.
This is when where every reporter that was hating on them comes back on the next morning and they're like, Patrick Mahomes is the best goddamn QB in the league. And I'm saying it since day one.
Right, exactly. This is a potential, yeah, exactly. And this is a potential playoff rematch, a potential playoff preview. And we're probably going to see, this is going to be a shootout, I think. This is just going to be like, sparks are going to be flying. CJ's just going to be playing out of his mind, rising to the occasion. Obviously, Patrick is Patrick. But like you said, ultimately, Chiefs get the win here. But it's kind of it's at 12 o'clock in the middle of the day, which I don't know why this game is in the middle of the day. Anyways, heading into week 17, they head back home now and they play the Ravens here. Another close game, but an unfortunate loss here. The Ravens are just the better team overall. The Texans put up a good fight though, coming off of the Chiefs game. They have some confidence from it, but it's just not enough. So on a 3-game losing streak, they've got the perfect team to bounce back in week 18, get the win, and go into the playoffs with their heads held high. They've got the Titans again. This game is even worse for the Titans because they are getting the butt end of Miami, Chiefs, and Ravens. They're getting the back end of it, which is just going to be all the anger and rage built up. They're just getting it unloaded on him. Sorry, pal. They're getting mollywopped in this game. This one might be a 2-touchdown game or something. It's also week 18.
They're mad, and then from getting it from the back end, they unload on the Titans. That's what I'm hearing. Okay.
Right. And on top of that too, it's week 18. So it's going to be second half of this game it's going to be, if the Titans are playoff contenders, they'll be playing kind of hard, but the Texans will be playing second string guys. If the Titans are good, then they'll be playing second string guys. It's going to just get out of hand. So Texans end the year They had a 3-game losing streak in there. They had that one there, so that's 4. And then they had the 2 early. They had the 2, and then they had the 4. So they're 17 weeks, so 16 games. Yeah, no, 18 weeks, 17 games. They are 15 and no, 12-5 to end the year.
12-5 then.
12-5 to end the year. I've got them as playoff. I've got them in the playoffs.
They win the division.
Yeah, they win the division.
Obviously, they sweep the Colts.
Sweep the Colts.
Beat the Jags.
Beat the Jags. Split with the Jags. So that pretty much does it right there. And then Titans are in that division.
Oh, Titans are in that division.
Yeah, and they sweep the Titans.
Okay.
So the only game they lose in division is to the Jags.
To the Jags. Gotcha. All right. Pretty heavy, pretty high up on CJ Stroud.
They were. It's one of the
high.
toughest schedules in the league. It's one of the toughest schedules in the league rated
Is
right
that
now.
that is rated?
Yes, I think they're 4. They're tied for 4th toughest schedule in the league. They end 12-5, so a lot of promise there in my eyes.
A lot of promise, and they prepared for it like correctly. They got a number 1, like a purebred number 1. Like we don't know how Tank Dell is going to do, so they picked up Stephon because Nico, as much as everybody loves Nico, I mean, we don't know how he's going to do this year. I mean, he's not truly a number 1 like Stephon is.
Yeah, I think Nico will blossom. That he's going to get even more attention taken off of him because of Stephon, so he'll be even better.
And
I think
he can go back to that just a deep.
And they got a running back. They got Joe Mixon. They actually have a running back now. So that's going to be a huge. If they were that good last year without one, they're going to be even better. And they also, I think they made some adjustments on the offensive line too. So
I would have really loved them like picking up Aaron Jones because
I mean, Joe Mixon's a good combo back.
But you have Joe Mixon, but he really thrives. He's more of a Devin Singletary. For sure, he's more of that pass catching running back than. I mean, he is a great balance guy, but I feel like he leans more into the pass catching.
But he actually runs through the hole. Devin Singletary just falls through it.
Okay. Alrighty. I am excited for Joe Mixon to be on that team for sure.
For sure. I mean, it was my Christmas wish last year. I was like, what is my one Christmas wish for a team, not including a Super Bowl? It was the Texans to get running back, and they got one. So
they got one, and they got a good one too.
All right, boys, that does it. Leave it down in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you've made it to this point in the video, leave a comment. Say full course, boys. We'll call it. Everyone who makes it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I'm Devin. The other guy is Zane, and we are Buffet Sports. It's all you can eat. Ciao.